Hello everyone, here we come on to the topic factors affecting demand part 1. We come on to the first factor, that is price of the good. As price of the good increases, its quantity demanded decreases as there is an inverse relationship between the two. Please mention the word quantity with demanded when we talk about the price. As our given income is constant, so if price increases, the quantity of the good has to be decreased. This thing can be shown through the following schedule. As you can see in the first schedule, price increases from 5 to 20 and quantity demanded decreases from 10 to 4. Or we can look at the other way down. Price decreases from 10 to 4 and quantity demanded increases from 12 to 18. Now the same thing has to be shown on the diagram, as you can see on the diagram, but how you're going to explain the whole part. So the explanation comes in the following way. In the schedule, as price of good increases, the quantity demanded decreases, showing that there is an inverse relationship between the two. This is the first thing you have to explain about the schedule. Now we come on to the explanation of the diagram. The first point says in the above diagram, quantity demanded is taken on x-axis and price of good on y-axis. We get demand curve which is downward sloping and is a rectangular hyperbola natured. Can you see that? Can you see all these things on the diagram? Okay, now we come on to the second point. In the diagram, as we move from point A to B, price increases. Can you see that? When we are moving from point A to B, price is increasing, shown by the red upward arrow. Okay, now come on to the explanation again. And quantity demanded decreases, but when we move from point A to C, price decreases and quantity demanded increases, showing inverse relationship between the two. And the decrease in quantity demanded you can see with the leftward red arrow. So this is how you can show about point A, B and C, and you can show with the different combinations that how quantity demanded changes as the change in price happens. Now we come on to the next thing, that is income of the consumer. As you can see in the first picture, if we are taking normal good as a new bike, which are the modern one, and we take inferior goods as a second hand bike, like in the second picture. So now when we talk about the normal good, as income increase, the demand increases, and income goes down, then demand goes down. There's a direct relationship between income of the consumer and demand of normal good. But when we move on to inferior good, as income increase, the person demands less of the inferior good, as now he can afford the normal good as well. When his income falls down, he again has to come back on the inferior goods and demand more of it, as he cannot afford the normal good now. So there is inverse relationship between income of the consumer and demand of inferior good. How will you categorize a thing as a normal good or as an inferior good? We cannot do that. We cannot say that above this price this is normal or less than this price this is inferior. So how we define these things? The first point says a good is called normal when its demand increases with the increase in income of the consumer and decrease with decrease in income of the consumer. Therefore, there is direct relationship between demand of normal good and income of the consumer. This is how we are going to define normal good, with the help of its relation with income of the consumer. The same thing can be shown through the schedule. Price is not moving and it's being 10, 10, 10, 10, and quantity demanded can either increase from 2 to 8, or in the next schedule, price remaining constant, for example 10, quantity demanded decreases from 8 to 2. The increase and decrease is due to the increase and decrease in the income of the consumer respectively. The same thing can be shown on the diagram. We take quantity demanded on x-axis and price on y-axis. We have DD demand curve. DD curve moves rightward when income increases and moves leftward when income decreases. Now the same way we'll define inferior good. Again, we don't have a proper criteria of price in defining these goods, so we'll define in the following way. So a good is called inferior when its demand increases with the decrease in income of the consumer and increase with decrease in income of the consumer. Therefore, there is an inverse relationship between demand of inferior good and income of the consumer. Same thing can be shown through the schedule. Price remaining constant, quantity demand can either increase from 2 to 8 or can decrease from 8 to 2. The same thing can be shown in the diagram. Quantity demanded is taken on x-axis, price on y-axis. The DD is the demand curve, and demand curve moves rightward, but when income decreases, and DD curve moves leftward when income increases. This is the change between the diagram of inferior good and diagram of normal good. How will you present these points in exam? You have to write down the main relation and introduction of the factor, then you have to draw the schedule and then diagram, and you have to explain. You can use various examples while explaining. This answer can come for 3 or 4 marks separately for each factor. I hope you enjoyed the video by Ridhima Sharma classes. For more videos, kindly visit our website acadher.com. Thank you.